So here's the deal, okay? This patch, checked with Vlad today. It is a current patch that they use in the Ukrainian military. Um, I will show you because Vlad even sent me a picture of one of the guys to prove it to me. Oops, hang on. Where's the picture? Yeah, it's good. He sent me the picture. This guy is one of the co-founders of Harkovu Mir, which is the Meals for Wheels charity that we've been helping a lot in Ukraine. And if you look on his arm, it's kind of hard to see, but he's wearing the patch. This is the other version we have. I've got two versions. This is the dark green version, and the other one is the light gold version that's right here. Anyway, Vlad said these are the current military patches. You know, they've got the Velcro because they don't put it here, of course. They put them on the shoulder. Anyway, I am going to pick one person who donates to this donation we're doing today. Very special donation. This one I told you guys about the other night. It is for an association for people with disabilities in Ukraine. The town, let me look again. I'm forgetting the name of the town. Yulia taught me to say it correctly. Hold on. It's Barvinkove. And this town, by the way, let me show you really quick. So this town is located right in the arm of fire, or the line of fire of the Russians. This is sort of where all the fire is coming from. You can see all the little red dots. That's where firing is taking place in the last day. The town is right next to it. I pulled up actually a story in the news today about how the Russians today were trying to breach Ukrainian lines in a number of towns. This town is one of the towns the Russians today are trying to breach the Ukrainian lines. Well, there is an association in this town that deals with people with disabilities. They have 200 people in their facility. They cannot get any logistics in because of the war. They can't get food. Anyway, the head of the organization wrote a letter to Harkovu Mir, which is the charity that we've been dealing with a lot for the last several months now, and said they need food, they need medicine, and they need personal hygiene products, so toothbrushes, toothpaste, all this kind of stuff, right? Well, Vlad is working with the folks at Harkovu Mir. They found a car, they talked to the military, and the military, they have found a way into the town, even though it's not terribly safe. Let's face it, the Russians are attacking this town as I speak. And they are going to make a run on Monday to this town to deliver as much as they can to this group home, I guess I'll call it, or facility for people with disabilities. So I have set up in my Twitter profile. I'm sorry for going so long, guys, but this is important. My TikTok profile, you'll see the link for beacons. Click it, and you'll see the very top thing gives you Vlad's PayPal email. Use Vlad's PayPal and get the money to him directly in Ukraine. Do not use my Cash App. Do not use my Venmo. Do not use my PayPal. Use Vlad's, okay? So use Vlad's. And for you guys, I will show you Vlad's real quick. Where's Vlad's? Here it is. There's Vlad's. You could always try to copy it. But if you guys can do that. Oh, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one person randomly who has contributed $5 or more. You can translate, actually in euros, it's the same thing now, $5. You can figure it out for your local currency. If you do $5 or more in your local currency, I will pick one at random and we will send you this authentic, for real Ukrainian military patch. And as I said, it's the cool patch that goes on their arms and stuff. It's got Velcro on the back. Vlad bought it in Ukraine at a store that actually services the military. So Vlad, it's real. Vlad mailed it to me from Ukraine. It's the real deal. So there we go. All right, I'm going to jump into the news here. But if folks can help, we're trying to raise the money in the next 2 days. They're going to go shopping either Sunday night or Monday morning. Vlad said, you know, even if you can give a couple $100 total, even if we raise a couple $100 total, it's still something. Because basically the guy said they need $5,000 from the facility. But, you know, I don't think we're going to raise 5,000, but nonetheless, if we could raise 1,000 or two, I think that would be pretty cool. So there you go. Thank you, Coach. I see some people already donating. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. So let me jump right in. So a British aid worker has died in eastern Ukraine. Thank you, Jesse, for that. Paul Ure died in, well, I don't want to say Russian captivity. He was at a checkpoint back in April in eastern Ukraine, in the, I'll call them rebel held territory, because I think people use words too many times that almost legitimate these people. These are basically Ukrainian collaborators that are controlling part of eastern Ukraine and siding with the Russians. They took this guy hostage, a British aid worker. Um, he now is dead. They are claiming, I mean, this is really offensive. They're claiming that, oh, he died from illness and stress. First of all, illness. Yeah, he died from illness. This guy had diabetes. It was insulin dependent diabetes. He needed his diabetes. These guys knew. He told them he had diabetes. You know, the Brits, everybody let them know he had diabetes. And according to the aid group he was working for, they are convinced that the Russian proxies, at the very least, did not give him his medicine. I think more happened, of course. He was a Brit. They thought he was a spy, or they accused him of being a spy, and God knows what they did to him. Now, I wanted to read you one quote from the Russians, or from the Russian proxies, and what they said about this poor guy, okay? And trying to explain his death. Listen to this. He was in a depressed psychological state due to the indifference to his fate in his homeland. They're trying to claim that the Brits didn't care for him and nobody wanted to help him, and it depressed him and it killed him. Sure. They basically give it, the fact that they gave that quote as an explanation means they killed him. I mean, had he actually just died, they would have said the guy just died. Like, we don't know what happened. But giving that ridiculous quote, oh, he died of a lonely heart because nobody in Britain cared about him, that means they murdered the guy. Anyway, really pisses me off. This story I just saw. An American who has lived in Ukraine for the past 4 years has been taken into custody in Russian-occupied territory there, his family says. Swedi Murekezi was arrested last month in Kherson, provincial capital in southern Ukraine. Kherson, we talk about a lot. I did just see that. Thank you, Louis, for the coral. Kherson is the town and region down here. It's the first big town that the Russians grabbed when they first moved into Ukraine. He was captured by Russian forces early in the war, and it's unclear on what grounds he was detained. People didn't even know the guy was detained until his family let them know right now. So we'll see what happens there. Russia continues to bomb civilians. And again, the experts say this is obviously intentional. It's part of the terror campaign. Thank you, Poppy. It's part of the terror campaign the Russians are doing to try to terrorize the population and make them feel that they are safe nowhere in the country. Well, two things. I was going to give you just a quick little update since I didn't get into it really yesterday. You guys had mentioned the story, but one moment. I keep having this because it's my hot tea. And in principle, it helps my throat. So we talked before the little girl who died. I just wanted to give a little more details about her death. The Russians bombed the city of Venezia, which is interesting because it actually sounds like the Italian for Venice. Venezia. It is all the way over here. Now, for you to appreciate how far away this is, the front in the war is around Kharkiv. Here's Severodonetsk. Go around here at Zaporizhia, around here at Kherson. This is where the war is happening, okay? Here. This is where the Russians bombed, all the way on the other side of the country. They did it. They hit a civilian area. They bombed the town square of a city. It's a town that has nothing to do with the war. It's not anywhere near the war. And they did it. Thank you, Lily. They did it because they wanted to go after civilians. Well, little girl, Irina. Oh, this is the mom. So the mom is Irina Dmitrieva. She was in the town square with her little girl, 4-year-old daughter, Lisa. The daughter was wearing green sneakers and pushing a pink stroller, okay? They were walking in the central Ukrainian town of Vinnytsia. The mother took a video for Instagram and posted it on Instagram because it was so cute watching her daughter push the little carriage, right? Her daughter had Down syndrome, and they were going to the daughter's speech therapist who had taught Liza how to pronounce her first words. Well, shortly after they posted the video, the Russians hit the town square with a number of missiles, killed the little girl. The mother is in critical condition. There's a horrible picture that I think wasn't even intentional. Somebody took a photo of the the disaster, and in the front of the photo, and I think, like I said, the mom, I think, said she saw the photo and realized, oh my God, that's my daughter. I mean, she knew the daughter was dead, but you see you see in front of you like a black, again, like a baby carriage or something that's on the ground, and you see the little legs and the green sneakers. You can see this girl's gym shoes, the little girl. And I mean, you can see her face too. The picture, they blurred out her face. I'm not even putting it up. Um, I mean, it's just a horrific tragedy. Thank you, Mad Max. The other place the Russians attacked today was Mykolaiv. Mykolaiv is right here. Mykolaiv, the Russians are trying to get, because the Russians have occupied all of this and they're trying to move north. At the same time, the Ukrainians are in Mykolaiv and trying to push south into Kherson. At least 10 Russian missiles slammed into Mykolaiv today, hitting 2 universities, a hotel, and a shopping mall. Trying to see if there's anything else here. At least 2 people were injured in the strikes, said the mayor of the town. 45 countries met today, including the U.S. and the European Union, actually today and yesterday, I believe, at The Hague, to have a Ukraine accountability conference to discuss Russian war crimes and what they were going to do about them. The U.S. and the other countries, all 45, agreed to work together to assist investigations into alleged war crimes in Ukraine. They signed a political declaration, and steps will be taken to coordinate investigations, including training prosecutors and expanding the number of forensic teams operating out of Kyiv. The last point was the foreign minister spoke at the conference, so I'm sure it was virtually, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuleba, and he called for the establishment of a special tribunal to try Russia for its war crimes. Kind of interesting. I don't know the various sort of legal arguments in terms of why. I know there's 2 or 3 different courts you can go to. One would have been through the United Nations. That requires the Security Council, so we're not going to get that because of the Russians, right? Real quick, I do not want to get it through my PayPal. No. Only send the stuff to Vlad's PayPal, because I'm trying to stop folks from doing this, because I don't want to deal with it is a tax nightmare for me to have to figure out money you sent me, money I sent Vlad. What's going to happen is, I'm sorry, there's the donations. I'm going to end up paying taxes on your donation if you do it that way, because it's going to get, and some of people already did it. And I'm going to return your money because it's too much of a mess. And in the end, I'm just going to pay taxes on it. And I'd rather not pay taxes on your donation because I'm not taking any of it. So I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. So anyway, but I don't know enough of the legal arguments around it as to why you wouldn't want to deal with The Hague, why you wouldn't. I think there's a third vehicle, but I don't know if the third vehicle was establishing an international tribunal. Now, mind you, for Russia, it's certainly more embarrassing to have an international tribunal, right? Way more embarrassing. As far as how you donate via TikTok, you'd go to my profile on TikTok, and hold on, I'll show you guys really fast. Sorry about this, but since there's donation questions and I really want people to help with that charity, I want to be able to show folks. So I'm sure you'll all understand. So notice, here's my profile on TikTok. And again, profiles, you guys know the profiles are right on the top of my videos. You see my picture. When you go really close, look at that link that says beacons right above the Q&A, how you submit questions for me for the chat. Right above it, there's that URL, the link that says beacons.ai. Click that. And the very top thing, you're going to see a box where I talk about support Ukrainians with disabilities. In that box, it will give you Vlad's PayPal address. And as I said, please PayPal to Vlad directly. Thank you. So the thing is, Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree. I mean, I don't want to sort of get off topic. You know what, Remy? Let me save your point. I mean, feel free to discuss it with folks there. I'm going to save your point for when we get to the Q&A because it's worth bringing up for people to discuss. I think it's interesting. I don't agree with you, but I think it's interesting. Um, anyway, let me go on. Any case, next story. Putin on Thursday signed several laws connected to the war in Ukraine. My personal favorite was Putin signed a law that says it's illegal for Russians to join the Ukrainian armed forces, which I just thought was very funny. Like, how's it going? How's your war going, Vlad, when you've got to make it illegal for your own troops to join the enemy and fight you? I mean, seriously, which mind you, which suggests that that has been happening. It suggests that it's a problem. I mean, that's my favorite thing, right? Um, all the money, I don't even collect the money. All the money is going directly to the Ukrainians. That PayPal address is to Ukraine. So the money is going to buy lots of things for people with disabilities who are going to get it on Monday. And to put a finer point on it, that is one more reason why I don't want y'all sending the money to me. I want you sending it directly to the Ukrainians. Directly. So there. Anyway, I thought that was funny. There was some more here. Putin also codified special economic measures, which moved through the legislature this month, meant to put the economy on a war footing, including requiring companies to supply the military with whatever goods it needs on deadline, mandating the acceptance of government contracts. And this one I'd read about before. This is not going to make people happy. Introducing required overtime work. So they can make employees work. The government can mandate that employees have to work overtime in order to fill the military's quotas. And mind you, these are companies that aren't military companies, right? Very interesting. Very interesting. New York City. Oh, I pulled up the video. So New York City. Yeah, don't worry, Bobby. Don't worry about that. As long as I see a donation that doesn't say this is for Ukraine, I'm going to assume it's for me. Don't worry about that. I'll know the difference. Let me show you guys. I actually pulled up the video. I was able to find it. So this story is about the other day. New York City decided to do a public service announcement. In other words, a commercial the city put on for its citizens on television, telling them what to do in a nuclear war. And it scared the hell out of people because they were like, why are you telling us what to do in a nuclear attack? Did you get some kind of intelligence? Are we at risk? I mean, scared the hell out of people. So a little more tea, and then I'm going to show you the actual ad that the New Yorkers, it's not a bad ad. It's just doing it out of the blue scares the hell out of people. One sec here. Oh, sorry, Superworld. So real quick, just to tell folks again, I'll tell you guys one more time because folks are asking and it's about the donation, and then I'll show you the ad the New Yorkers did. So the donation is going directly to an association of, actually, I think it's literally called, well, I can even show you the letter in Russian or Ukrainian. It is the Association of People with Disabilities of this town. I've always got to look up the town name. It's hard for me to pronounce. Barvinkove, which is right on the front lines. It's right southeast of Izium, which is one of the, anyway, it's right on the front lines. It was even in the papers today that the Russians were trying to take that town. There is an association of people with disabilities. They have some kind of a collection of buildings, medical center, et cetera. They've got 200 people with disabilities there. And because the war is literally on their doorstep, they reached out to Harkovu Mir, which is the charity that we've been dealing with for the last several months, the one that's been delivering the food around town, the one that we bought the car for, the one that we just got the gasoline for. And they've told them they're desperate for food, medicine, and hygienic products. Meaning it could mean women's hygiene, if you know what I mean. It could mean toothbrushes or anything. So Vlad and his friends got a car, like a really big car, like a truck. They are going shopping, I think Sunday night, and they are going to deliver this, or Vlad isn't, because Vlad's going to be in the other part of the country, but the folks he's working with at Harkovu Mir are going to go shopping with the money you guys gave. Somebody else has already raised another $1,500. So we're hoping to raise more, and they're going to go shopping and buy food, medicine, and these personal hygiene products. They're going to the car and they're driving directly to this disability center in that town at the front line. They've talked to the Ukrainian troops. The Ukrainian troops said it'll be safe, for them to get in and get to the place. So that's what it's going to. And I don't mind you asking, because it's people have the right to know. And anyway, I don't mind you asking, so don't worry. So that's what it is. I'll mention it again at the end of the show too. There, I put it up again. I'll mention it again at the end of the show, just so we can sort of keep bringing it up. Oh, actually, you know what, Elizabeth, one quick sec. I am going to show that public service announcement, and then I'll get to your question. So this is the public service announcement that the New Yorkers did, that the New York mayor's office did, that freaked everybody out. There was a big article today, I guess in the New York Times, saying that everybody freaked out. Not surprisingly, everybody freaked out. And the mayor tried to excuse it and explain it. I will hold it back here. Hopefully you can see well enough.
So there's been a nuclear attack. Don't ask me how or why. Just know that the big one has hit, okay? So what do? There are 3 important steps that I want you to remember. Step 1, get inside fast. You, your friends, your family, get inside. And no, staying in the car is not an option. You need to get into a building and move away from the windows.
So it's that kind of, I'm not going to go through the rest of it, but it's that kind of thing. Step 2 is get inside the building. If you were outside, wash and shower and put your clothes in a plastic bag. So it's good advice. It's just people were absolutely freaking. Oh, wait, Remy, did you actually, you're not in New York, are you? Did you actually see it like in New York, or you mean you just watched it? I hope you would. I would have been pretty freaked if I saw that on the TV in New York City. I would have been like, okay, my concern would have been, did something happen? Did they must know something we don't know. And I would have been terrified of it. Yeah. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, I watched it. It's pretty good. It's just, as we said, people are going to freak out and think there must be some intelligence that says, intelligence meaning, CIA, saying that New York is about to get bombed. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, I mean, the story basically just quoted a lot of different people who were pretty freaked out. So a little more tea. I mean, I will say what I said when I first heard about this. I think it's important that people know, because I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what to do if there's a nuclear war. And I don't think we should accept necessarily that we'll all be dead. I mean, sure, it'll suck. It'll suck after a nuclear war, but I mean, we shouldn't just assume we'd all be dead. So it would be good to know. Yeah, New Yorkers would go to work. Could you say, hey, buddy, what are you doing? I'm going to work. Yeah, there was a nuclear bomb. Yeah, I know, but I got to go to work. It's like, yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I get the mayor's goal. It's not stupid to educate people, but Jesus Christ. I mean, well, and that's the other question. Remy's saying, I don't think I'd want to survive a nuclear attack. That's the other question, man. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Super World of Brown is saying a lot of New Yorkers think that the mayor did it as a distraction because a bunch of New York City drama has been happening. Oh, that's interesting. That would be really obnoxious. That's really obnoxious. Thank you, Inspired Woman. Now, I will mention this since we're sort of in between stories. Raggedy Man Rusty noticed I can say privit in Ukrainian and yaku. That's about it. I know some Russian. Ukrainian, I don't really know. But I can, я говорю немного по-русски. But по-украински, not really. So Raggedy Man Rusty says, Ukraine, I know about, yes, this is true. Ukraine reportedly received the Swedish Archer truck-mounted howitzer system. Archer is the best truck-mounted howitzer in the world. Only 48 exist. It carries 21 rounds. I did see that. Yes. It carries 21 rounds that can be fired in less than 3 minutes to a range of 30 to 60 kilometers. So that gets you up to about 40 miles without a soldier leaving the vehicle. Yep. I did see that. So that was helpful actually, because that is similar to the HIMARS system in many ways that Ukraine got from the US and the UK. So it's nice that it's adding more to that. All right, let me one sec here. Elizabeth, there we go. Elizabeth, Germany is looking at rationing power this winter, and at the same time, a new poll says 70% of the German public is willing to pay more to, or are willing, whatever, pay more to help Ukraine. Oh, that's interesting. Pay more for their electricity. That's interesting. How would you advise German politicians to balance these issues? You know, honestly, they need to come clean with people, and I think they need to tell them up front. You know, if prices are going to go up, you need to tell people. If they're going up because it's for a good cause, and I'm frankly shocked that 70% of Germans say that they're willing to pay more to help Ukraine. If people say that, that's fabulous. Then I would get out there and I would say that to them. I would even say, if I was a politician, I would say, in a recent poll, 70% of you said this. First of all, you'd thank them and say, this is amazing. The fact that you would show this kind of spirit for another country in need speaks to the German character, right? I mean, it's true, but also, you load it on and you tell them prices are going to go up, especially if it's going to be bad. I mean, if prices could double, you need to warn people. If there's literally a chance of prices doubling, you say there is a chance prices could double this winter. And here's what the government is doing to help on that. We are stockpiling gas right now. No, this I think is some of the problem that Biden has had. Biden is not a good speaker, but also he kind of likes to assume. So he assumed inflation wasn't going to happen, and it did, right? He assumed, I think to a degree, that the leaving Afghanistan was going to be okay, and it was a mess. And if he thought it was going to be a mess, he should have said so. He should have said, you all voted for me to pull us out of Afghanistan. You need to know it's going to be a mess when we leave. If he knew that, right? But you kind of have to come clean with, and inflation too. They all denied inflation. There was no chance of inflation. Now we've got really bad inflation. I mean, the latest inflation in the US, the numbers came out yesterday. It went up again. We went up to 9.1%, on an annual basis as of yesterday. I mean, and it went up, which is bad because they thought hopefully it was coming down again. So, any case, again, I fault the Democrats and Biden for not being a little more upfront, because honestly, and again, there's just I said 9-1, 9-2, same difference. Yeah. It's just, I just think it's better just to come clean with the public than to have something bad happen anyway. Because at least if you come clean, and like the inflation thing, you give them good explanations of why, right? You give them good explanation of why. One, we need a bill to get our economy back going. We need this bill because our infrastructure is falling apart, right? And is there a risk of inflation? Yes, because my argument, guess what? One of the reasons you get inflation is because your economy is back. We are coming back from COVID when our economies are shut down. If the economy kicks back in, people start going back to work, people start earning money, people start spending money, people start going on vacation. Guess what you're going to have? Economic growth and inflation. But that's what Bill Clinton would have said, but Joe Biden did not. Bill Clinton would have given you a doctoral thesis on inflation explaining it, I mean, now the war did not help. That's the thing though, right? The war did not help. I mean, who knows what it would have, I'd be curious to see. Actually, I do know without energy, although I don't know if it was without food as well, the inflation rate was down. Thank you, Karina. The inflation rate was down to 6% or so, which is still very high, right? In the US, we've had it at 2% for decades practically. Thank you, Al, for that. Oh, Sasha, I can't help you right now. Sasha wants me to go over and tuck her in. She's in her bed, but the blanket isn't on. So she made the little noise she makes, which means come over and put my blanket on me. It's very cute. It's very cute. Sorry, hang on. I'm going to look at my air conditioning again.
Step 2.
Oops, step 2. I don't want to. It's that nuclear war woman is talking to me again. I don't want to hear her again. Who was that? Flower lady. Thank you for that. She does well because she'll survive. She'll survive, but she likes to be covered in it, and she's not covered right now. She'll live. All right, fine. Hold on. Everyone's getting upset. All right. You silly girl. Okay, I'll touch you. Here you go. Right? There you go. Okay. Oh, God. All right. Well, I was saying, I don't know how she learned how to do this, but she makes a noise and she goes like that. And it means, I mean, I literally know the noise. It means I can't get my blanket on me. Can you do it? And I come over and put the blanket on her. It's the craziest damn thing. I mean, she's trained me well as well, but it kind of blows my mind. Thanks, Brunel, that she has noises for, she has a specific noise for that. And I looked over, she was in her bed and her blanket was next to her, like a little bit away because she couldn't get under it. Like it's amazing. Yeah. All right. A little more tea. Actually, almost done with the news anyway. Oh, you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. So, oh no, this is a different one though. This is not the Swedish. This is a different one. I don't know who this came from though. Thank you, Louis, for that. I don't know who this came from. It says, the story said that the M270 multiple launch rocket system arrived in Ukraine. Some more M270s either for the first time or more of them arrived in Ukraine. These can hit targets up to 80 kilometers away, 50 miles. The defense minister said this will be good company for the HIMARS on the battlefield. The HIMARS are the guns, the rocket systems that we provided and the Brits provided. But I don't know who provided the M270s. Does anybody know? It was funny because the story I was looking at didn't quite say that, but didn't see, but pretty cool though. Yep. And again, it's the same distance. Now, I don't know if this, thank you, Kanowski, if the military folks can tell us, do the 270s work the same way as the HIMARS in that the distance is only limited by the shells you use, by the actual ordnance, by the actual, bullets, not bullets, of course, they're missiles. But does it work the same way that you for an M270 can go a lot farther than 80 kilometers if it has the right ordnance? Is that the case? The Brits sent 3 M270s, says Raymond. Okay. Just seeing here. Possibly Norway as well. Britain was going to supply some. Okay, a couple of folks are saying that. Germany, and yes, they have a 300 kilometer. Okay. So if they get the right ordnance, they can go farther. Interesting. Okay, I think, yes. Now, one thing I will mention as an aside, there was a story today that got picked up, and I don't think people were interpreting it correctly. There is a story in the Financial Times talking about these new long-distance systems and how they're working and how, the Ukrainians have used it to really change the battlefield dynamics. And what I believe the Ukrainian defense minister says, he says he is confident that he is going to get the long-range artillery, the artillery that can go 300 kilometers or 200 miles, that he's convinced NATO will, or the US or whoever, will provide that to Ukraine. Now, some people took it to mean that NATO has agreed or the US has agreed to give them those weapons. That has not happened. This guy is saying, we're talking to them and I'm convinced in the end that they will do it. That's different than saying they will do it. Some people interpreted it as being, NATO agreed to do it. Sorry, folks are kind of weighing in with this. Yeah, well, that's possible too. Sorry, looking here really quick at some of these things. All right, let me, actually, the last little story I had was Belarus has defaulted on its debt because it tried to pay in local rubles, which is not allowed to do. So like the Russians, it also defaulted on its debt. So there we go. My glasses are right here. Why was I squinting? I know, I've got to stop squinting. All right. Let me go to the Q&A and see if anybody's put a Q&A, or I can look and see first if there's anything. Well, actually, you know what? Why don't I jump first to what Remy was saying? Remy felt that he said, I feel like you all are demonizing a people, meaning Russians, in living in an oppressive regime. Although it's effing disgusting, they know that if they speak out, they're gone. I'm not saying the Russians are in the right. So Remy is saying, obviously the regime is bad, but people are living in an oppressive regime and they can't speak out or they'll be killed or jailed. So you should have some sympathy for them. Opinions? I throw it to you all. And remember, there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to wait until I see you guys type something, but just curious what you think. Okay, good. I just want me to, because I understand where you're coming from. So what do folks think? Stalin did that. Only one man is responsible. They need to get together and revolt. I feel that way too. If the Russians were good people, they would rise up and overthrow their government. I mean, I agree the vilification of an entire nation is never good. Lots of Russians hate Ukraine and say bad stuff about it. To an extent, but they should resist. The soldiers on the ground in Ukraine are also Russian people. Well, I mean, I see what you mean. You're right. You mean the Russian soldiers, of course. Of course, you're right about that. Right. The Russian soldiers are Russians. No Russians support a lot of Russians support the action, though. I read a poll the other day. 58% of Russians support the war. 31% or so, if you can believe the poll, 31% or so want Russia to withdraw, to finish, go home, and the rest were divided. But it did say 58% supported the war. See, because then you get into this weird thing too of, yeah, they've got bad. Oh, I don't remember now, Remy. This was a couple days ago. You get into the situation of, yeah, the government lies to them. Yeah, the government controls the news sources. But at the same time, you hear from countless people, Russians and Ukrainians living outside of Russia, calling their family back in Russia, and their family literally doesn't believe them when they tell them what is happening in the war. One guy I saw was saying that it was on the news here. He was saying, I'm literally telling my family back home what I'm seeing. They literally bombed my town I'm living in. And I'm saying, Dad, they bombed my city. And Dad goes, no, they haven't. No, you're watching too much, blah, 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 this kind of thing, So, I mean, it just, yeah, I don't know. And I've got to say too, I have less and less sympathy after several hundred years. The Russians have had several hundred years of, dictatorial, well, autocratic, at least, governments. And after a while, I just kind of feel like, I mean, I just, I'm kind of feeling like the people have some kind of a role here. And finally, you see people like Navalny and others who do speak up, and they do go to jail. But you know what? If you don't speak up, then you end up with the government you've got, Well, the question, I guess, is whether they made their own bed is the question, right? I feel like it's will for ignorance, especially. I'm trying it for now. The new Mike Morrow. No, that's true too. That's true too. Yeah, real McCoy. I don't know you, so I don't want you asking folks for money. That's not cool. If that's what you're about to do, because I don't know who you are. So don't even think of trying to post that. Sorry, but no. I know. Look, this is a hard discussion to have with little one sentence bits online, but I was just curious to get folks to kind of weigh in a little. What else? What else? What else? We live in a world. Well, now this is a good point too from Wild Hunt. We live in a world where info is so accessible, Russians have no excuse. See, the thing is, young Russians have no excuse. Young Russians should be able to get this information, right? They can, excuse me, young Russians can get this information. So the notion that they didn't know going in what was going on, come on, you know? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Jingle bells, so many have or are trying to go against their own Russian government. Those are the good ones. Agree. Those are the good ones. I mean, because what bothers me too is this is the argument that's used not to do sanctions, you know, that folks say we shouldn't do sanctions because the people don't know any better and we're hurting the people. And it's really the government. And, no, misinformation does spread more. It's true. Well, that's the other question too. I was just going to say that the Just Judy just said, the Russian soldiers are telling their families. Now that's very true. These people are absolutely going home and they're absolutely telling their families how horrible it is. Some of them are certainly telling the truth, and they're telling the truth about who they're really bombing, who they're really killing, what's really going on, that there are no NZs in the country, this kind of thing, Ah. I'm just reading the comments here. The tougher it gets for Russia, the higher the chance they start resisting the government. Well, that's possibly true as well. Yeah. Russian mothers of missing sons are speaking out. That's true. The families from the Moskva have been really pissed. Also, because they're not even telling them what happened to their kid. I mean, the kids and stuff is horrible. Like a number of them are still, missing. They won't tell them anything. I mean, there has been, Remy says, I feel like this is a great chance for the U.S. to unify. The U.S. has unified over this. Having said that, only a small number, but it could grow. The Trump Republicans, unfortunately, have been pretty bad about Ukraine. And that's the risk. Donald Trump himself has been pretty bad. Donald Trump, let's face it, Donald Trump, who still may announce that he's running for president soon, Trump is pissed at Ukraine because, remember, he tried to extort the Ukrainian president, Zelensky. I'd like you to do me a favor, though, in exchange for getting the weapons you need to defend yourself. And Trump got pissed because Zelensky didn't do it and because it blew up in Trump's face. So Trump dealing with Ukraine is only thinking about one thing, Donald Trump, and how he can defend his ego. And his ego is defended by attacking Ukraine, not defending Ukraine. Secondly, you've got Donald Trump's relationship with Russia, which is creepy at best. Trump is going to want to help Putin here. Third, Trump said when Crimea was invaded, Trump told the media here when he was running for president that Crimea, they're Russian anyway. It was okay for Russia to go in. It's their own people. I'm fine with it, Trump said. For all of these reasons, Trump is going to be a disaster on Ukraine, I predict, if he runs for president. And as soon as Trump starts speaking every day as the Republican candidate and attacking Ukraine, then we're in trouble. Because then all of his followers are going to do what they do, where they go, whoop, and all of a sudden they think 180 degrees of the opposite because Donald Trump told them to. And that's what scares me. Young Russians were raised by brainwashed parents and they themselves are brainwashed, especially in the poorer areas. Yeah, especially in the poorer areas. You can run for president from prison. You can even be in president. You can be president in prison, believe it or not. No, that's true, Lilia. Having said that, a lot of the young people had internet access and were able to access the news up until recently. They had VPNs, which was a way of getting around the censors and all of that. The young people, a lot of them knew what was going on. So I think, I just don't believe it. I don't believe, I just, yeah. Anyway. The three what? The three what have arrived in Ukraine, Raymond? I'm not sure what you mean. So I'm just looking here. I'm going to go to my phone and then grab another. Hang on, make sure I didn't miss anything here. And grab another one. Oh, the three M270s have arrived. I'm sorry, in Ukraine, and should be named for FDR, Churchill, and Stalin. I don't know if I'd name. I don't think you'd name it for Stalin exactly, would we? That might be a bit weird. Well, that's the question. I was going to say that even Russians living in the U.S. are pro-war. We've seen countless examples of Russians living in Germany who were all protesting in favor of the war. They knew what was going on, you know? So, you know. All right, let me see if you guys have been submitting the questions I asked you to do via the Q&A. How long can the U.S. draw down weapons for Ukraine without any mobilization, especially if we need to invade Iran, protect Taiwan? It's not really a mobilization. I mean, the question is, we have to start making the weapons up to, we need to start buying the weapons to replace the weapons that have been used. I mean, at least currently, in principle, we hope it's not putting us at any disadvantage. Eventually it will if the weapons aren't replaced. I just don't know what the details are on that as far as, at what point, if we weren't replacing them, would it be a problem? I don't know. Now, having said that, let's face it. We're not giving them fighters. We're not giving them our tanks, U.S. tanks. We're not giving them a lot of stuff so that we're going to have. We're not giving them a number of the defensive stuff. We're not giving them our surface-to-air missiles. So there is a lot of weaponry we're not giving them. Hell, I don't even think we're giving them. We are giving them our artillery, though, right? We are doing that. Let me see here. How do you think support for Ukraine will go if, God forbid, Trump is reelected? Oh, well, just answered that question. I'm drinking green tea, decaf green tea. Thank you, Marcy, for the little crown. In principle, it helps my voice, but I'm not noticing it helping my voice. Try it again. Newsweek is reporting that Russia and Belarus are planning to merge and use ex-Ukrainian president to say Ukraine should also be in the merger. I'm not surprised it's being discussed. I don't know whether it's actually happening, though. I do have honey in there. I even have some Manuka honey that my sister sent me after you all were talking about it. I'm not necessarily convinced that Russia and Belarus are going to merge, I mean, the Belarusian people probably wouldn't. I mean, the Belarusian people certainly didn't want to join the war. I'm not sure how thrilled they'd be about joining Russia, So, throat coat tea. I don't know what that is, Alyssa. I'm yawning to you guys. Sorry. And MiGs aren't fast East Soviet product. Hang on a sec. Not sure. Did I see the intercept by Japan? Oh, that's what you guys mentioned the other day. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. That was yesterday. All right, you guys only put a few questions in the Q&A. I'm telling you, this Q&A thing they did is really bad. Okay. Let me see who this is. Somebody got muted and would like to be unmuted, which I'm happy to do. Skarky Chomper. You're not blocked, so I can't, but maybe they can do it. So his name is Skarky Chomper. Chomper has two P's as in Paul. So Skarky Chomper would like to be unmuted. So if the mods can do that on TikTok, that would be lovely. What do you think about Biden saying they will use military force against Iran to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, and the fact that they think Iran will try and assassinate American officials? Well, first of all, the assassinating American official. Oh, you were spamming? Well, what was he spamming? What was Skarky? What were you doing, Skarky? All right, don't do it again. Whatever they told you not to do, don't do. All right. They're saying you were spam. Well, all right, but whatever you were doing, they also consider spamming, or we also consider spamming posting the same thing over and over again. So whatever you were doing, don't do it. Okay. Just don't. I don't want to waste any more time with this, but be normal. But if he starts doing it again, you're out, Skarky. So be good. So with regards to, this is Cassie asking, with regards to Biden and Iran, I saw them talking about assassinating American officials. Not cool. I believe you, Tyson, but you know what? Like I said, when people ask to come back on, I'm happy to let them come back on. And if they're bad again, then they're going to be gone a lot longer. But usually when people ask to come back on, I find that they try to be good. So hopefully. Okay, just be good. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, talking about assassinating American officials is not good, because that is going to get you a massive response if that happens. We can't let Iran get a nuclear bomb. We can't. So somebody's going to have to do it. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know what you do, but I don't know what you do. The problem is, from what I remember this from years ago, it is not, the military option is not great for taking out Iran's nuclear weapons program. Things are so deep in the ground that it's not really clear that we can reach there. And I mean, this was years ago I learned this. So I'm sure it's even harder now, But having said that, we can't allow Iran to get nuclear weapons. There's no way. So, Excuse me? Well, here's an idea, Eric. Why don't you go away yourself? Because you sound like you've got an attitude and it's rude. So you can either stop that or you can be blocked by the moderators. I'm giving you one more chance, but don't be rude. There's no reason to be rude, and you're being rude. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but nuclear, I mean, we've got to stop the bomb from continuing. And Iran, I mean, you might as well, North Korea, I was going to say give it to North Korea, but of course North Korea already has it. But I mean, Iran is insane having Iran get the bomb. Absolutely Iran. But again, what I'd heard again before was that we would need men on the ground, and having men on the ground in Iran would be horrific, But I do know that Iran is awfully close to building a nuke if they want to. That I had read recently. Would it be in our best interest for Biden to eliminate the Trump era tariffs on China? It would, in terms of inflation. We know that was something Biden people were talking about it. People were talking about that a month ago. I saw it for the first time. Thank you, Al. But I'm guessing that it came up long before that. Biden could have gotten rid of the tariffs. It would have helped. China makes everything in this country. I mean, I was trying to look at my coffee mugs. Most of my coffee mugs are made in China. China makes everything. So to actually get rid of the tariffs would have helped. And also, just as importantly, the president has to do stuff. He's got to show, thank you, Nikki, for the hat and mustache. He's got to show that he cares and is trying to do something. Getting rid of the China tariffs would have been something. Now, I bet you Biden's worried about it because Biden's worried about Trump and saying, you're being soft on China, blah, blah, blah. But when you come out and say that it's about, inflation is the number one threat, not China, would be what I would say. And we can deal with China and whether it's being fair or not afterwards, But Biden needs to sort of come up with something. Exactly. Don't mess with my Twitchers. What's going on? Is somebody harassing my Twitchers, Moonbeams? Don't mess with my Twitchers. The golden Twitchers. Just seeing here. Yep. If we don't stop Iran, Israel. Well, that's the other question. Israel would do well. The problem is there that, That's the problem. If Iran got a weapon, he would drop it on Israel. You know, doesn't matter, Raymond. What are you talking? You talk like an American idiot. That would be another example of being really rude, Ray. So let's not do that. There's a couple points here. A, getting rid of tariffs would in principle help with import costs and the cost of goods in our country. Yes, it would. It doesn't matter if the president isn't responsible for inflation and has nothing to do with it because the people think he is responsible. So B, he'd better come up with something. And even if it didn't have a significant enough impact, he could at least say he did something. But you've got to try to come up with several somethings. Okay? You've got to come up with several somethings to do something. And even if it doesn't work, at least you've tried. But he doesn't even look like he's trying. It doesn't matter that he's not responsible. You know? I know. Well, and I will bet you the problem. My guess is the unions probably weighed in and freaked out about him saying he would lift the sanctions. That's my guess. Okay, sorry. It sounded like it was coming at me. So, Remy, hit me with one of your radical beliefs. Go for it. Go for it. If Ray didn't mean it, that's fine. It sounded like he was saying to me, and it wasn't very nice. Thank you, Netlin. All right, Remy, je t'attends. What's going on here? Well, that's nice. The Eiffel Tower was lit with the colors of the Ukrainian flag during France's Bastille Day celebrations. That's nice. Yesterday was Independence Day in France, the 14th of July. Yes, bring on the Remy radical beliefs. Exactly, Moonbeams. Exactly. Money isn't real. It's a construct. We as a people agreed to use this as a means of trade. True. True. Thank you, Netlin. So I'm waiting for Remy to finish his thoughts. Yes. I maybe shouldn't have agreed to this. It's going to take a while to get to get a full sentence here or a full paragraph here. Is the chat off today? What do we got here? Well, I mean, the president isn't responsible for inflation. That's true. But the problem is it's perceived that way. It's perceived that way, you know, and he gets blamed if it's bad and he gets credit if it's good. And I think the tariffs, you know, the problem is, yes, he would have been offsetting it against jobs, which would have freaked people out. It would have freaked out the unions. But, you know, then you do it temporarily. Thank you, Jerry. You say for the next 6 months, and I'm going to reevaluate it after 6 months. You know, I mean, Tina says, as someone who worked in the steel industry, tariffs don't save jobs. Interesting. FAA cameras being down. Nope. Didn't hear about that. I'm sure it'll be in the news if you Google it for sure. For sure. Thank you, great CFI, for that. And Rascal for the Corrugate. Let me see here. Well, yeah, COVID's being a problem again. We know that. That's for sure. Let me see. Was any other beep. I'll look back here with you guys again. Oh, the Swan. Look out, Aflac, Jerry Flores. Thank you. Question. Did you talk about the $100 million to train Ukrainian pilots on our fighter jets? Might have been late. I did not see that. That's interesting. What was that about? Let me look this up. Train Ukrainian pilots. Oh, that's different. That's different. That's money the U.S. House added on. Doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere. Well, let me see here. Hang on a second. Hang on. Right. The U.S. House, according to the journalist, part of this amount should go to training Ukrainian pilots. Again, it's in the U.S. House bill. The United States plans to train Ukrainian pilots on F-16 and F-15 jets, he said. This amendment was supported by the House of Representatives. Well, maybe. I mean, I'd want to see more because a couple things, okay? Well, okay. Okay. It's possible that that means that the US is going to be giving F-16s and F-15s. Possibly. Um, the fact that it's in the House bill doesn't mean it's going to be in the Senate bill. Secondly, Nancy Pelosi is a top ally of Joe Biden. I would be surprised that the administration would not want that language in there unless it were true. First problem, right? Pelosi wouldn't want the language in there unless the administration wanted it, because otherwise it's embarrassing for Biden, right? Because then it becomes Biden, Biden shot down helping Ukraine or something like that. But I don't know. I still feel like I want to see more confirmation that wasn't some. Thanks, Brian. That wasn't some House member that threw it on. I'm not sure. Yeah, chat. We got to bring our chat back to. All right. The chat got nasty today. Sorry. I have no news on the Duma meeting. Does anybody know what actually happened with the Duma meeting? Did anything happen with it? It was supposed to be today, the Russian lower house of parliament. Now, Radio Free Europe got the information that they were going to consider a new deputy prime minister, which we thought was one of the possible stories from the Russian Duma. Yeah. Not clear there's much there. Iran reassures Ukraine that it won't sell drones to Russia. Hold on. Iran drones Russia. That's interesting if it's true. Defense News. This is 2 days ago, actually. Iran's foreign minister insists his country opposes Russia's war against Ukraine, but was vague Wednesday about whether Tehran's military cooperation with Moscow would include the sales of drones that could carry missiles. So there you go. So that's vague. Jerusalem Post. The Kremlin is saying drones would not be discussed. Iran wants to downplay the reports, downplaying U.S. accusations that it could be sending drones. Iran is seeking to downplay reports, according to a Friday report by Fars News. I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, if you've got that from somewhere else, maybe, but I'm not seeing an outright denial yet from Iran. So, don't know. Well, that's my concern, Thomas, but who knows? Let me see. All right, be nice, folks. Okay, be nice in the comments. Not you all. YouTube. Okay. 3 hours ago, Defense News, Health authorizes training Ukrainian pilots to use U.S. aircraft. Yes. My only question is that sometimes things are added into the bill that the administration doesn't want. And it would have to be, if it's in the Senate bill also, then it's going to pass. But, I'd want to see a little bit more from people talking to people in the administration. Exactly. The TikTokers are getting a little haughty now that the YouTubers are having a fight, and that the TikTokers are being good. It's going to their head. I'm warning you. So yeah, that's the deal with that. What else? What else, guys? Give me more stuff. I got no more questions here. Anything else? No, I mean, Biden met with, what's his face, Mohammed bin Salman today, the, putative leader of Saudi Arabia. He's not the king, but he's the one that calls all the shots. the media was getting on Biden's case because, and again, this was kind of a mistake from Biden. Well, Biden didn't want to shake hands because of COVID. And let's face it, Biden's old, didn't want to shake hands because of COVID. So they did this. The problem is this, like from two guys doing this to each other, it's very chummy, to use the English word for it. It's very like two guys doing this is very like, hey, hey, hey. It's like two really good friends saying hi. It's not what you do with a mass murderer. Not what you do with a mass murderer. So, now the elbow still could have looked cute, but the elbow would have been better. I mean, than the fist. The fist was just freaking stupid. Having said that, I saw a New York Times journalist criticizing Biden and saying, this is why people don't trust reporters. Thank you, Vernon. People don't trust, this is why people don't trust politicians, because they say one thing in the campaign and they do another in office. And she was saying that because during the campaign, Biden said he would isolate Saudi Arabia, and now he's trying to be friends with Mohammed bin Salam or whatever. The problem is we have almost a world war on our steps, almost. It is causing the risk of a real economic catastrophe. And we don't have a choice but to work with Saudi Arabia right now on the energy thing. We don't have a choice. And possibly on the Iranian thing too. But I don't think we have a choice. So that I get that it's not, oops, I'm just going to lowering the light a little. I get that it goes against what Biden promised or whatever, but too freaking bad. I mean, sometimes you got to deal with the fact that that things change. We have no choice but to try to get them on I think, try to get them on board. I don't know. Happy to hear what you guys think, but people are saying well, let me see here first. We already have a defense pact with Saudis. Yes. Thank you, Evolving Fate, for that, for the subscription. Yeah, I mean, the Saudis are a key ally, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it either. I can't stand the Saudis. I hope Biden doesn't run again. He shouldn't run again. He should not run again. He's too old. He's too old. And in 2 years, he's going to be even older. There's no way. There's no way. He shouldn't run again. You libs. Okay, hysterical about what? About what? I was going to say who are all the libs, but also hysterical about what? I'm not really thrilled with anybody. I talked about this yesterday. People got mad at me. Pete is my favorite. I think he's still possibly a little young. I worry. But I like Pete. I'm not thrilled with a lot of the other candidates, to be honest. I felt this last time too. I felt like we had our B team, our B as in boy team running and not our A team. Because in America, A is the top grade you get, B is the next grade, and it goes all the way down to A, B, C, D, F. I love how we don't have E, but we have F. And B means not bad, right? C is mediocre. B means not bad. And I feel like we had our not bad team running on the Democratic side. I loved Pete. I still thought he was a little young, but I supported him. But everybody else strikes me as not bad. None of them are Obama. Pete's got some Obama in him and some Bill Clinton in him. I don't think any of the rest of them do. And that's what worries me. So Reuters is reporting that Ivana Trump, Donald Trump's former wife, died of blunt force trauma injuries to the torso. Yikes. That's interesting. That's interesting. Ivana, let me look at this. I mean, Yep, everyone's got the story up. Ugh, excuse me. But they're saying accidental? Maybe did she fall down some stairs or something? Um, it's considered to be accidental. She was found. Oh, she was found in. Oh, she was found unconscious in close proximity to the bottom of a staircase in her apartment. So that's the question. That's the question. So if she was by the stairs, it sounded like she fell down the stairs, and the question becomes, right, did she fall down the stairs, or did she, did she get thrown down the stairs? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, super chat from Julia. Hang on, Julia. Harvey, I'll get to yours next. Hang on. Oh, sorry, Julia. I'm an idiot. I had even starred your thing and missed it. I'm so sorry about that. So Julia asks, one of the issues with China is that the Wall Street Journal is reporting that they are selling Russia goods like microchips for their military. That's not good, is it? I didn't know that. That's bad. Yeah, we certainly don't want microchips going. Now, is that confirmed by the Journal? That's, I guess, I really hope that's not true. I believe you, but I hope it's not true. I'm also surprised if it is true that we haven't heard about it, which basically makes me think the administration then would be trying to work behind the scenes with China, because why wouldn't they go public over it? Elise, a Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty article today says that many Russian government and factory workers haven't been paid for 1 to 3 months, and Russian reserves will be gone by mid-August. That's interesting. That's when things get interesting. Yeah. If employees haven't been paid, I would imagine most Russians can't go 1 to 3 months without being paid. Most people can't do that. That's wow. Well, good. It'll put pressure on them. And the currency reserves too. That's very good. I am yawning today. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? I took an allergy pill before we started. I'll bet you that's what's getting me yawning. I will bet. And finally, Harvikins, thoughts on Russia's proposed investment in some flag I don't recognize, flag I don't recognize, and flag I don't recognize. Thank you, Kanowski, for the fireworks. Oh, forget it. I don't even have a chance, Harvey. Investment in, could this be an attempt to mitigate the political fallout from food brocade? Listen, I don't even know that word, or something more similar to China's investment in the continent. There's no way I'd get those flags. Yeah, it's the Middle East and North Africa that they're going after, but I can't recognize any of those. Not even close. No money for me. There'd be zero chance that I'd be able to get those. Anybody else? Before Harvey tells us who they are. If they use the same chips that they use in their electronic equipment, they won't work. That's interesting. I don't know how many subscribers. It doesn't tell me, which is a little annoying. Maybe it'll tell me at the end of the month or something, but I've never been able to figure that out, believe it or not. Actually, let me see something here. I'm going to look at one thing at my, use your words, Harvey. Exactly. Exactly. Hang on. I'm just looking here. All right. It's not that. I'm just looking through my little, oh my God. I've got to stop yawning. Let's see. Snickers. No, there's nothing here. Interact. No, nothing. I got nothing. I don't know. Putin's new youth initiative. Is this a joke? It sounds like a joke. Did you see the news about Putin's new youth initiative? Bum. Oh my. Eswatini? What the hell's Eswatini? Guinea-Bissau and Togo. What the hell's Eswatini? You lost me on that one. Thank you, Edwin. I will do the recap in a minute. Oh, God, it's 22 after. Yeah, let me definitely do the recap. Once somebody tells me what the hell Eswatini is. If you come to D.C., I don't know, Bob. We'd have to chat a little more. I don't know. Harvey needs to educate us about what the hell Eswatini is. I am not familiar with Eswatini. That's just crazy. He did that on purpose. All right, so doing a fundraiser. I will tell you guys again about the fundraiser at the very end. British aid worker Paul Yuri dies in Russian captivity, or captivity of the Russian proxies in eastern Ukraine. An American who has lived in Ukraine for the past 4 years has been taken into custody in Russian-occupied territory. Russia continues to bomb civilians, as they did the other day in Venetia, where they killed a little 4-year-old girl who was just seen on Instagram. They also sent 10 missiles today into Mykolaiv, again hitting 2 universities, a hotel, and a shopping mall. Excuse me. 45 countries, including the U.S. and those in the European Union, agreed Thursday to work together to assist investigations into alleged Russian war crimes. Putin on Thursday signed several laws connected to Ukraine, including one that makes it illegal for Russians to join the Ukrainian armed forces. Which, again, I laugh because if you've got to have a law telling your own soldiers not to join the other army, you got a problem. You got a problem. New York City faced a lot of criticism for its nuclear alert advertisement. Oh, my God. Sorry, guys. And a number of M270 launchers, rocket launchers, arrived in Ukraine today. We still weren't sure if they were, if they were coming from the Brits or who they were coming from. And Belarus just defaulted on its debt. So there. So yes. So one more time, just to remind folks. So the charity is it's not a charity at all. It's the Association for the Disabled People in the town of, every time I've got to look at Julia's thing, she told me how to pronounce it. Hold on. Barvinkove. So the town of Barvinkove, which is right along the Eastern Front, right along the front with Russia, they are in the line of fighting. I found an article earlier that says that the Russians today are actually trying to beat the Ukrainian troops in that town, right? Because the war has been on their doorstep, this Association for Disabled People has been unable to provide sufficient food and medicine and other things for the people, for the 200 people in their care. They turned to Harkovu Mir and asked for help. Harkovu Mir is the charity that we've been helping in Kharkiv that has been feeding people and getting them medicine. And we helped them by getting them a lot of the food. We got them money to buy the food and medicine. We even bought them a car that they're using to deliver these supplies. Any case, that's the people they reached out to. And Harkovu Mir raised about $1,500 on their own. And they asked us if we would be interested in trying to raise some additional money to help buy food, medicine, and other supplies, such as they don't even have toothbrushes, things like this, for these 200 people in this town. Because the town is getting bombed and is literally, the front is in the town, they can't get anything. They can't get anything. So what I'm asking folks to do, if you could, on TikTok, go to my profile. You will see, I will even show you, you will see in my profile a URL right above the red Q&A, and you see Q&A and tips. Right above it is a URL, a web address that says beacons.ai. You click that, and it takes you to a page, and the very first big box on the page says support Ukrainians with disabilities, and it gives you my friend Vlad's PayPal address in Ukraine that you can give the money to. For you guys, I will take Harvey's know-it-all off the screen. This is Vlad's PayPal. Oops, I had it up already. There's Vlad's PayPal. And to sweeten the pot, I have promised that we are going to pick one person who has given $5 or more as the donation. One of them and I will be mailing them this very Ukrainian military insignia. It is a real Ukrainian military patch. Vlad bought it from the military store, I guess they have in Ukraine where he is, the military supply store. So he actually had to pay for it, but that's fine. It's got the Velcro on the back because it literally goes on their arms, and the arms actually have Velcro. This is, this is the Ukrainian trident, which you will see used a lot in their military stuff. Zelensky has a uniform with it on and everything else. So it is the trident. It is the Ukrainian trident. That's why it looks like a trident. That's exactly why. And there you go. It's real. It's authentic. And we're going to pick one person and give it to you. Because I thought we're going to auction some of these things off eventually when I figure out what to do about auctioning. But at the same time, Yulia had mentioned, and I thought, what a great idea, trying to at least give something back each time we do a fundraiser. So there you go. So if you guys can help out, that'd be very cool. They're going to raise money through Sunday. And finally, either Sunday night or Monday morning, they're going to go to the store, buy everything, and then drive to the facility to give them everything they were able to get. And again, I like these kind of fundraisers because it's the kind of money I like to give. I like to give money if something's going to help people directly, and I don't worry about, some organization using it for salaries, even though they've got to pay salaries. I get that. But 100% of the money is, well, you're sending it directly to Vlad. 100% of your money is going to the organization. So, but don't send it to me. Don't send it to my PayPal. Don't send it to my Cash App. Only send it to Vlad's PayPal. Thank you, E. Graham, for the super sticker. Appreciate that. It's not letting you donate. I don't know. Is PayPal being evil? I don't know. I mean, make sure you're spelling Vlad's name correct, of course. That's his last name. The trident. Oh, that's interesting. The trident spells freedom in Ukrainian. Get out of here. What do you mean it spells freedom in Ukrainian? What does that even mean? I believe you, but I'm not sure what that actually means. Because there's no Cyrillic letter that's the sh. That's the sh sound in Ukrainian. Is it the first letter in freedom? No, but freedom, svoboda is freedom, though. Or is that peace? No, that's freedom. Svoboda is freedom. Peace is mir. I don't know. Check my Q&A. All right. Why don't you can email me. Why don't you email me? It's my last name at Gmail. You can just email me. That'll work. Anatoly. But just so you know, I'm very cautious with things like this because obviously, I don't know you and I want to make sure people don't get cheated and stuff. So, right. It's Svoboda. Exactly. So I don't need, but there may be some connection there. There may be some connection, well, North Korea already has nukes is the problem with North Korea. So it's its own, that horse has left the barn, as they say, Oops. Beep, 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 beep. Trizub, three, whatever zub is, but three, of course. I wonder what the connection is, though. I'm going to Google this myself now. Hold on. Ukrainian trident. Let's see what this says. Trizub. Yep. The coat of arms of Ukraine is a blue shield with a gold trident, officially referred to as the emblem of the royal state of Volodymyr the Great, or colloquially, the Trizub. The insignia derives from the seal trident of Volodymyr, the first Grand Prince of Kiev. It reflects the heroic events of the past, and it is a stripe of Ukrainian warriors protecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. It is one of the 3 official symbols of Ukraine. Okay. Oops, let me see here. Oh, I see. The Trezub of Ukraine may also be interpreted to incorporate the words volya, which means freedom. Also interpreted to incorporate the word volya, which means freedom. V is the left tooth, O is the bottom, L is the top, and yeah. Oh, that's funky. Wait, V is the left tooth. Not sure where I see the V, which is B. O, maybe. L at the top, depending how you write the, I'm trying to remember the L, volya. But put volya in Russian so I can see it, goofballs. Ya. Oh, that is a ya. Right, the right tooth is a ya. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, so they're saying that the letters for the word volya, which also means freedom, can be derived within the trident. So like the right hand side of the a backwards R is ya in Russian or Ukrainian. So the right hand side of the trident could be the right trident coming up looks like it could be a backwards R. Now, being told here, volya means will, not freedom. Well, somebody better go and correct Wikipedia, because that's how they've got it in Wikipedia. Seriously, if you're Ukrainian, go and correct the coat of arms of Ukraine page, because that's what they're saying. Yeah, but I'm curious where the V is. Anyway, interesting. Oh, I guess you could see a V too. Yeah, that makes sense. Funny. That's funny. Well, very interesting. Who knew? Haven't seen anything. Yeah, I don't want the money going to me because it's just too freaking hard. And again, like I said, because of taxes and everything else, it becomes a mess if the money goes to me. I did it at the beginning, and I'm just going to have to be super careful when tax time comes, because it just is, no money. If I see money come to me and people say it's for Ukraine, I'm sending it back just because it's too hard. So yeah. So thank you. Oh, money for me? Yes. You can say in the same link, it gives you my PayPal, my Cash App, my Venmo, etc. It's on the same, thank you. Appreciate that. It's on the same list of links. So thank you for that. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to get going. We're at 35 after. The voice is held in there, barely, but it's held in. But thank you, JSM. Appreciate it. And Tyson, always. What else was I going to say? I don't think anything else. But yeah, at least I got this mic working on TikTok. So we'll see if people don't object to it too much. But I liked it because it's a better microphone. So I'm hoping overall it's a better sound than using my little microphone. So we'll see. Your PayPal and put in his email. No, you're giving directly to his PayPal. Naprakovsky is Vlad's last name. So you'll see if you go over, you're going to give it to directly Vlad's PayPal. It's a wonderful mic. I mean, it's a great mic. Well, I have my own business and individual PayPals. Doesn't really matter which one you give to if you're giving to me, because I declare them both as income anyway. When you give to me, they're both income. You know, if I were raising money because Sasha was sick and I needed help paying the bills, that would be a donation. There's no tax. But if you raise money for your work, so to speak, so if you gave me money for me, I'd have to pay taxes on it. That's the way I interpret it. So just to be safe. And like I said, but the donations for Vlad stuff, for the Ukraine stuff, I don't really owe taxes on it, but I've got to keep so much care of it, so to be so careful that I'm going to screw it up, and I don't want to. I'd rather not touch the money. Makes it better. Oh, Marion, hey, did you just arrive or something? Hi from London. Marion, what are you doing in London, my friend? I was actually about to sign off. I'm trying to protect my voice here. That's funny. Horrific amount of self-employment tax. You know it. Horrific. Absolutely horrific. Yeah. It's bad. Yeah. Even when you don't make anything, your self-employment tax is through the roof. Because it's like pre-deductions or whatever it is, you know? Well, I've got my decaf green tea. It's almost like wine. I know Vlad through my nephew, who has worked with Vlad for 6 years now. So he introduced me to Vlad before the war. I think it was before the war. And Vlad and I have become friends as well. But initially, my nephew introduced us, and my nephew then was on the calls with us organizing stuff. And now Vlad and I know each other well enough that we just organize things directly. An S Corp, no, I thought about that, but I need to make more money for it to be worth me having an S Corp. I'm not at that stage, Marion. I'm with you. Yeah, well, did I tell you what happened with the other one? The other one I put together, and basically there's an internal part. This little thing, I'll even show you guys. So this little thing comes out so you can wash it. I took it out to wash it, and I didn't put it back in my thermos. So when I shook the thermos, it came out everywhere. So basically, it's because I was an idiot, is what the problem was with the thermos. The thermos was fine. I was just a blithering idiot. So that's why my tea went flying all over me yesterday. It was quite the, and now I'm putting it in. Now I'm putting it in wrong anyway. See? Yeah, I'm going to go before I cause more trouble here. All right. I popped it out. Let's pop this back in again. Hey, well, there we go. Jesus. There we go. It's fighting me on this one. I don't like this. I had a podcast. I don't anymore. What is this doing? Oh, this is kind of pissing me off a little bit. Hold on here. What is this doing? There we go. Jesus Christ. This isn't as easy as the other one. Wow. The other one's much easier to put the thing in and out. It doesn't go on the top. Huh. Sorry, I'm just looking at this crazy thermos as I try to put it back together. So basically this one, there we go. Wow. That takes quite a lot of work to put together. I don't like that. Weird. Okay. I'm learning to use this thing better. It's annoying me a little bit here, though. All right. There we go. Jesus Christ. Boy, this isn't easy. Sorry, I'm back now. Flying tea, a man of the people. Well, I do that. I like coffee, but I drink the tea for my throat because it's been doing. I didn't break it, but this one, ironically, this one is much harder to put back together than the little one that I have. The little one I use for my coffee. This one I'm going to use for my tea. But it's just, yeah, I love this mic. I mean, this is a really good mic I got for my podcast when I was doing my podcast. It's a Shure. It's the one Joe Rogan uses. It's also apparently the microphone that Michael Jackson used to, I believe, tape whatchamacallit. Not Beat It, but I mean the monster one. Thriller, supposedly. So, but it's wonderful. I just love it. I know, Joe Rogan, what do you do? But for my podcast, I wanted a Thriller, but I wanted a good mic. And I like it anyway because it is a good mic. And I figured, for doing these things, always a good thing. Okay, I'm signing off again. All right, guys. Good to see you all. I will, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we will check in again. All right. 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you then. All right. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We can talk about why I'm not doing the podcast again tomorrow. All right. All right. Goodbye to you guys. Oh, thanks, Syndicate. Didn't see you were there. Syndicate, let me call you tomorrow. We can catch up on stuff. All right. All right. Bye, guys.